Yeah.
When we think about cybersecurity, we think about big companies. I don't think the bank needs cybersecurity, the airline, the government. So people won't send enough, a lot of mails. You know, that so happens sometimes in the United States. But we don't think about us. We need cybersecurity. Why?
You know, this is a big problem because people don't take the necessary means in order to protect themselves. We see more and more cases where people's lives are being ruined. So you have those sensitive pictures of people being leaked to the internet, and sometimes it's devastating for them. You have personal information about yourself or your family being hacked because people don't do the minimum necessary in order to protect themselves. Because I think many people think that this is not a problem for me. Who wants to hack me, right? People think, nobody wants to hack me, I'm just a person. But this is definitely a wrong way to go about it, because people want to hack you. I'm not just specifically because it's you, because your information is valuable and they can use it either to blackmail you or to use it to make money in different ways. They can take your credit card, they can take your pictures.
I heard today about a virus that goes already on cell phones. We don't need a antivirus in the cell phone. The cell phones they are not with Windows, so we don't think about it. But I heard today that there is a virus that goes inside and it's used to put qualifications and everything on other apps, to steal other.
So
do we have to worry about that in our cell phone?
Definitely, you have to remember that your cell phone is the door to your digital life. Using your cell phone, you can access people's emails, their Facebook, their Twitter, whatever they have. And if I have access to your email account through your cell phone, I can actually reset the password on every other website there is. And people don't understand that. And some people don't even use a PIN code on their phones. And you told me you don't do that. That's a big mistake. The first thing you're going to do after we'll finish this interview is you're going to put a passcode on your phone. And as I told you, in 2-3 years you get used to it. So don't worry.
I don't use it because I think that if somebody needs my phone, I don't want to put the number, and it's every time you want to take it, it's again the number and everything. It's really, that's for somebody not to get inside your phone. But somebody that wants to make a cyber attack, does it need my PIN? Does my PIN help not to them to get inside my cell phone?
So the thing is that as long as everything is okay, you don't really need your PIN code. But as you said, we see more and more cases where hackers target phones, many times by physically stealing your phone. So the thing is, as long as nobody has access to your phone, everything is okay. But the moment someone physically stole your phone, that's that, game over. Because there's nothing to stop him. Well, the first thing that hacker will do, the moment he has access to your phone, is to log on into every service you have there and change the password. And then you lost access to those services. And then you need to go to Facebook and to Google and to other services and explain to them that someone stole your account and this is really you and it's not him. And this is a very, very hard thing to do.
We are used that to think that Google and Facebook are going to solve our problem if we lost our password or if somebody stole our password, that they are in charge of looking for us. Is that correct?
So obviously, from one hand, Google, Facebook, and other companies have a great incentive to fix your problems. But you have to remember that many people go to Google and ask them to reset passwords, and they're trying to do fraud. They're saying, I want access to your Facebook account, so I will email Facebook saying, this is not your account, this is my account, please reset the password. And Facebook have to discover that I'm not really who I say I am. So many people approach them. Many of those requests are actually fraud, and they need to find a way to solve this problem. So it takes them a lot of time, and it's not always working. So sometimes they will not give you back your account. So there are people who completely lost their Facebook account.
And how to prevent this? You work on cybersecurity, and you work also with startup companies.
Yeah.
A startup company that is, like we say, starting needs to have security.
Yeah.
How does it work? What does it have to have? Just an antivirus? What is cybersecurity?
So the thing is that we have to first of all remember that everything is hackable, and nothing is safe. And given enough information, enough resources and time, you can hack everyone. And we see that all the time. Big companies that invested a lot of time in cybersecurity and have brilliant people doing cybersecurity inside the company still being hacked. So the first thing you need to understand is you cannot stop 100% of the attacks. So, and that's, I think that's the key. If you understand that, that's the key. Because then you understand that you shouldn't only invest in preventing attacks. You should also invest in the other things like detection. You cannot stop 100% of the hackers, but you can detect them.
Hackers and virus is the same thing?
Viruses are tools that are being used by hackers in order to do whatever they want to do, right? There are different tools. Viruses, Trojans, worms are one type of tools. We call them malware, malicious software, right? You talked about startup companies. We have brilliant startup companies in Israel. I'm sure there are brilliant startup companies here in Mexico. This is one of the reasons I'm very excited to be here, right? I think the future of Israel, but not just Israel, every country and state in the world is in working together with other countries. You know, hackers and other criminals have become very, very good in working together. We have to be better. We have to learn how to share information, how to create joint solutions, how to create business together, and how to work together in order to create a safer future.
Tell me something. You say Israel, you say Mexico.
Yeah.
Israel is one of the countries with most startups that everybody think about Israel, about security, about not just only security on the streets, about cyber security now. It's really that there is a department in the army, in the Israeli Defense Forces, that works only in cybersecurity or looking how to hack other countries, other places. Is that really that exists in the IDF?
So definitely Israel is very strong with cybersecurity, and one of the reasons for that is that we have to be with cybersecurity, right? Israel has many enemies, very talented and smart enemies. We have to always become better and better in security in order to make sure that Israel is safe. The Israel Defense Forces definitely have contributed a lot to create this ecosystem of cybersecurity, and like any other army, mostly in the Western world, but also in other places, the Israeli Defense Forces as units that deal with cybersecurity, right? So you know that, everybody knows that. The Americans has the NSA, the UK has their own entity. In Israel, there are several units in the army that deals with cybersecurity, and obviously people that come out from those units has great understanding of the cybersecurity world, have already great experience of several years working in the army. So when they go out, they are ready and willing to do amazing stuff. Usually you would see them opening startup companies or joining already existing startup companies or big organizations in Israel.
Were you in one of these? Were you in one of these units?
I've been to the intelligence services in the Israeli Defense Forces for 7 years. My last position there was the head of the cybersecurity or information security department in the technological side of the intelligence services.
What's the difference between the cybersecurity or the security on internet in Israel than in other countries? You have been advising many other countries. You advise the Israeli security. Yeah. What is the difference between that and many other countries?
So in many ways there is no difference. We're all using the same systems. We're all using Microsoft Windows, we're all using Linux, we're all using the same systems. That means that the same tools, attack tools that will work on Israeli targets will work on Mexican targets in that sense. But there are differences in the threat landscape. So Israel's enemies are different from the enemies of Mexico, right? Their tools are different, their way they work and the way they think are different, their goals is different. So even though that they will use the same ways and the same tools and the same techniques to hack us, they will try to achieve different things. And I think that the similar things, the group of similar things, is bigger than the groups of different things. This is why we have a great opportunity to collaborate, to work together. This is why the Tel Aviv University is here now. I'm representing the Tel Aviv University. This is why we're here. We're trying to find strong partners to promote this discussion and to think about how we can work together in order to create a safer future.
When we think about cybersecurity, we're only thinking security, but cybersecurity can be to many other ways. Like you said, many people that work in cybersecurity came out to develop other startups. Some people said it came from that waste, that it came from that, many other things, from that unit in cybersecurity, in the Tzava, in the army. Can you work in other places? Can you work thinking not only in security, work in developing any things, or how is it?
So the question is, those people who go out from
cybersecurity, can they work? I don't know, not just in security, because we're used that you work at cybersecurity, you're an expert in cybersecurity, you know about security, but you don't know, or can you be developing other things?
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Definitely, people, you would see that people that work in the world of cybersecurity are very creative usually, and they can do other things as well, and they do. Not always, not all of my friends from the world of cybersecurity has continued their work in the world of cybersecurity. Some of them became opened startups in different arenas. Some of them became doctors, right? Medical doctors. And also people outside of the world of cybersecurity can go into the world of cybersecurity, right? It's not, you don't need to learn for 30 years in order to understand the basic concept of cybersecurity, because cybersecurity is all about risks and understanding threat attacks and understanding adversaries. And many people have the ability to do that. So basically, what I would like to see is that I would like to see more talented people from other areas go into the world of cybersecurity, and more specifically, it would be great to see more women there, because we for some reason, and not good reasons, women usually don't go into the world of cybersecurity, and we're losing very, very smart people, right, that could have contributed a lot to this world.
But we have the image of cybersecurity, we have the image from Hollywood and from the movies, and we see a lot of women there, and we see a lot of men, and we see only young people, and they told them, you have to hack this account, and you go, in 30 seconds you have already controlling the whole city, the whole planet, you can control. Is that really true what we see in the movies? Is that really what we can do? Or it's just a problem that it could be happening? Or
So surprisingly enough, some of the things that you see in movies are real, right? So some scenarios can actually happen. Obviously, there's a lot of science fiction to it, right? So people have those 25 screens and they press on buttons and you see graphs and skulls and like crazy things going. Like hacking is a much more boring activity. So what you would see in the movies is like this hacker, beautiful hacker, has a super computer and he's pressing buttons. In real life, you would see this kid sitting in a room eating pizza and pressing on buttons, and from time to time he says yes. See, this is it. So, but the world of cybersecurity is amazing, right? There are like crazy things going on. So you have the organized crime, you have people being killed and people being threatened, and in order for them to do something, to put a virus inside a computer, to connect something, to give the hackers something. You see governments use hardware devices and put exploit inside those hardware devices. You see amazing things that if you would have seen them in Hollywood movies, you would say it makes no sense.
For you, which was your most excited moment doing cybersecurity or doing hacking or doing whatever? What was your most exciting moment?
That's a very interesting question. The most exciting moment. I think that when I got nominated, when I got my position in the army as the CISO of the technological side of the intelligence services, that was a very exciting moment to me. I've went to do officers training for 6 months. I came back as an officer. I was very excited about that. I got my position there. And then for 3 years I did that. I think that when I was in Bank of Poland, the largest banking group, and I got my senior position there, that was also a very exciting thing for me. But working with the Tel Aviv University, the Cyber Research Center, the interdisciplinary Cyber Research Center, the Tel Aviv University has to some extent become the center of the ecosystem in Israel. So where we have their super talented entrepreneurs, super talented researchers, super talented people from the government and the industry. And when I started working with the Tel Aviv University and I got the position of being the CTO of the research center, that was also a very exciting moment for me.
Tell me, what's your job at the university? What's the part? What's the goal of this part of the university in cybersecurity? To generate cyber protection, to invest. What's the implication? What's the goal you want to achieve with this department?
So the Tel Aviv University, obviously a very, very amazing, very unique place, and everybody should visit. We have there the ICRC, which is the Interdisciplinary Cyber Research Center. It's one of the most exciting places with regard to cybersecurity in Israel and worldwide. And our goal there, main goal there is obviously the academic goal, is to create groundbreaking research in the field of cybersecurity. But we also try to promote cybersecurity. So one of the things that you will see is that we have the International Cyber Week. We have people from over 50 countries arriving in Israel every year to participate in the International Cyber Week. We have the Prime Minister there, we have state officials from all over the world. We have 25 events during that week for academia, for students, for government, for enterprises, for everyone. So that just to show you that the goal of the Cyber Research Center is to promote cybersecurity and cybersecurity understanding worldwide, and specifically, obviously, in Israel.
Tell me something. When you get with your friends from all around the country, from all around the world about cybersecurity, you know, when I play football and I get with my friends playing football, you say, you saw that game, you saw that play, he made that goal. Tell me something, when you get with your friends, you say, you know what I did yesterday? I got into the account of somebody. No, I did that. No, you know, I found the photos of my ex-girlfriend and I sent it.
Yeah.
What do you do? Like, I see that you have some photos of your ex-girlfriends around there.
So you describe us as a group of geeks and nerds that only talk about technology, and the sad thing is that you're right. You're right. So we have groups, WhatsApp groups, and all day we're like texting each other on WhatsApp groups, talking about this new exploit, this new cyber incident, this new government decision. Yeah. So it's definitely something that we talk about all the time. New techniques to attack things, new standards that got published, new cybersecurity incident. If this company got hacked, everybody started sharing information about what happened there and how did it happen, what we should do in order to prevent this from happening again. Yeah, so
and one of that moment that you remember that you say, oh, it's incredible. Let's do this. Let's do. You know that happened. I'm not talking about the emails of Hillary Clinton that maybe caused an election. One of these things that you were sharing, you were saying that say, all right, that makes you say, I have to think about this. One of that moment, something that happened in the world that say.
Yeah. So obviously there are many very exciting incidents, cybersecurity incidents that happened in the past years. North Korea and Sony, Ashley Madison.
That was interesting for many people.
Yeah, the hack to Apple and the fact that they stole a lot of new pictures of models. Super exciting things that all of them got a lot of led to a lot of discussions in Israel. But I think one of the most interesting events that happened in the past few years is, and that's just one example, right? I'm not saying it's the best of the best. It's just one of the old Edward Snowden events. Right? So obviously Edward Snowden stole a lot of information from the NSA and published it on the internet, and in that he actually revealed a lot of information about how the NSA is achieving what they're doing and their techniques and their tools and their goals. And in many ways Edward Snowden changed the world because people started talking about privacy. Suddenly everybody knows what privacy is and what are the problems in the world of cybersecurity. So that was very exciting times for us.
Is there really a privacy? If you say, I don't want you to see my things, I send it to that. Is that really happens? When I say to Google, because everybody will say to Google yes, and we say to Facebook yes. Is that really somebody says, I don't want you to share my information, I don't want to look at my information.
Yeah.
It really happens that we say no, and they don't do look at it. It's,
definitely, a lot of people talk about the end of privacy, but you know what, this is far from being true. The fact that you have sensitive pictures on Google doesn't mean that any of your friends can see them. And the fact that Facebook knows a lot of things about you doesn't mean that your doctor knows those things. And the fact that your doctor knows those things doesn't mean that means that Facebook knows those things. Obviously, we're losing more and more of our privacy willingly. People give their privacy freely to companies like Facebook, Google, and others in order for those services to be free. So the reason Facebook, Google, and other services are free is the fact that we're giving them our privacy, right?
Yes.
So people are willing to give privacy in order to get free
things,
services.
Yes.
Yeah.
We prefer free than...
Yeah, exactly. And even those people who always yell, privacy, privacy, we don't want anyone to use our information. When you give them the option and you tell them, you know what, okay, I'll make a deal. Well, let's make a deal. Pay $5 a month to use Facebook, and they will not use your information. Those people will say, no.
It's right, it's free.
Take my information, right? Yes. Definitely we're losing our privacy, and definitely we should be more aware of those problems, and we should control our information better, and we shouldn't put on the internet sensitive information that can really create damage for us. But it doesn't mean that we don't have privacy today. We have different kind of privacy, and we redefined privacy, and we have to understand the differences between how we considered privacy 10, 20 years ago to compare to how we perceive privacy today.
And it goes